YouTube. Welcome back to another episode of The Heart of a Family. Let's get right into it. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Diddy, Diddy, Diddy.
Diddy, do it.
Mm, mm, mm. It's not looking so good for him.
Well, we'll see. I think they're gonna reach a verdict tomorrow. It ain't gonna go. That's why I said it ain't gonna go long.
Yeah, it sound like it.
Huh?
I said it sound like it.
Well, I told y'all. It wasn't gonna go long. But yeah, we'll see.
Mm.
I don't know. Even if he is found guilty, it's just I don't know.
Weren't they
Cause I'm like, huh?
weren't they talking or questioning about the RICO, the
Uh-huh.
racketeering?
Uh-huh.
I don't think they don't have a verdict on that one yet.
That's the one that they don't.
Mm.
Because it's not like a big organized crime. I mean, it's him. It's not an organization. It's just him. And he's having people run errands and do stuff for him. So it ain't like no, I don't know. But like I said, it's up to the 12 people. I don't see that they provided enough evidence to convict him. That's just me. Because I'm like, they didn't went into this man's houses, raided them, had all these big Homeland Security trucks there. Where's all the footage and stuff and information and evidence that they took beside the baby oil?
Mm.
And then the freak off videos. And they made it seem like this man was trafficking like young girls and all of that, and they didn't even prove that. So
Mm.
mm, we'll see. But never know. They could have said not guilty. You never know on those four that they came back with. Never know. And then what is the Man's Act? What is that? That's what I was gonna look up.
The what?
Hold on. Uh, Let me see. They kept saying the Man's Act. I know Harvey, what's his name? That's on TMZ was saying. Oh, it said Sean Combs, also known as Diddy, is facing charges including racketeering, sex trafficking, and MANN Act violation. The Mann Act, also known as the White Slave Traffic Act, makes it a felony to transport individuals across state lines for immoral purposes, including prostitution. In Diddy's case, he is accused of using his influence and resources to coerce women into engaging in sexual acts and transporting them for these purposes, which is the basis of the Mann Act charge.
Mm, mm, mm.
I mean, but was it prostitution or was it just, hey, I'm flying you in for this party?
It
I mean, they
doesn't
wouldn't,
matter.
but it says including well, I guess it don't, but still, I, whew,
He
mm.
getting some
Okay, so
time.
what's his name? They used to walk around with the big velvet red robe with all them women that stayed in his mansion, Hugh Hefner. Now, I knew he flew people in and out and stuff. He ain't never get charged. His house was a big old freak off mansion. That and then he's going from room to room to room with the girls.
You gotta understand. It's a different color. It's a different kind of game when you got different genetics.
Mm.
Robert
The
Kraft
skin
got
color
convicted
ain't
of the
no
same thing.
no genetic. His skin color.
The Patriots owner, he got caught at some kind of massage place and nothing happened to him. That got swept
See,
under the rug.
That's why I said Hugh Hep, the Playboy Mansion. That's when they called it. It was trafficking, distribution in there, free calls, all of
Mhm.
that in there. Him flying women in, flying women out, celebrities being flown in. So he had a big old freak off mansion too. So
Mhm.
that's crazy. A big old freak off. Hey Jackson,
Hi everyone.
you at Walmart? What you getting?
Uh, you would. What's those?
Y'all shopping for the fourth?
We'll be shopping for some fruit and vegetables since I'm on this fruit and vegetable thing.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
noodles.
Cool, cool. Kia, they may reach a verdict tomorrow. It's only down.
What's
They only
it?
got they only
What is
got one
it?
count that they gotta
What's
keep
it?
deliberating on. Yep, only one count.
Put that TV down.
Huh? Oh, hey Chance.
Hi.
He's there. Onyx is over there. Where's Onyx? Let me see him.
Come here, Onyx.
You in the dark. Oh. Hey Onyx. Onyx. He wants you to play with him, Chance. He got that thing in his mouth. Okay, we going back to the call, Chance. Well, yep, so we'll see. I don't think it's gonna go all day tomorrow.
What do you mean?
We're talking about a trial that's going on. Give your grandma the phone so we can ask her.
She gonna tell you guilty, like she said the other day.
Huh?
She gonna tell you guilty.
Well, we'll see tomorrow. You never know. It could be on the 4 or 5, they said not guilty. Because I'm just like, which one did the one juror 25 not follow instructions on? Or do you think they got him or her to go in with them? So we'll see tomorrow.
Mhm.
Kia's phone must have dropped because my phone drops in Walmart.
So yeah, Onyx been whining.
He been whining
Yeah,
because of me. I'm not there.
I know.
That's why.
I think he was just whining because he wasn't like used to being in grandma's car.
Oh, you mean in the car?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Ezel, did you hear about that man? Ezel, is Ezel
Yeah,
still
I
on
hear
there?
you. I
You
hear
hear
you.
about that man? I'm gonna send y'all the video. It was a man. He faked being a lawyer, and he won 27 cases. I'm gonna
Come
send
on.
the video in WhatsApp.
Well, I go to show you, you
Go.
don't need to go to law school.
He won 20, and he won a case that he was representing himself in.
Mm.
Come on.
Yep, 20. He got arrested. Yep, he won 27 cases. I think he was in Africa
You
or
want
somewhere
to
like
be
that.
on? You want to be on?
In Africa.
Mm-hmm. Let me see real quick.
That's why it's Africa. Annie,
Mama, cut the TV down. Yeah, Ezell, it says a man in Kenya falsely claiming to be a lawyer gained notoriety for winning 26 cases before being arrested. He reportedly stole the identity of a real lawyer, Brian Wendy Nitiga, and used fake documents to represent clients. He even won his own case, the 27th, where he defended himself against fraud charges. I'll send you
Well,
the video so we can listen to it tomorrow. Yeah. So I'm like, do you really need a law degree? But you know, people, they do have the option to represent themselves in court. So what's the difference?
And what Herman did, Red Ford isn't in prison, been a lawyer.
He represented himself.
Rather than now, if they would want to stay over the 3rd. I'm not sure what that means. We're going to need to get more clarification on that. But the defense has said they do not want jurors to feel rushed. The defense has said they don't want jurors to feel rushed or stressed. And neither the defense or the prosecution objects to a July 3rd meeting, should it be necessary. And they say if we meet on July 3rd, this concern about racketeering conspiracy would be brought back up to the jury at that point. So that's a lot to unpack, but right now we're reading the defense wants to ask the jury to stay till the end of the day tomorrow, rather than having the jurors feel rushed or stressed, and the jurors are being brought back in. So we're going to try to get more.
they ain't going
They
nowhere till
gonna
they
go.
come with a decision.
They want this over by the 4th. Yep. And they had said too that I guess if it goes on, the judge could possibly have the courthouse open up for them to go in and deliberate too. So, Mama, you think Diddy is guilty?
Yeah,
I mean, do you think they proved the case?
no. Yeah, I think they proved the case. They had enough on him.
Yes or no?
Yeah, I think they had enough to prove it.
What did they have on him?
Everything he did to them women. I didn't hear the case, but I read some online. Everything he did to them women. He need to be in prison behind it.
So you think they actually proved that he's guilty?
Yeah.
Guilty of what though?
A beating, abusive,
But that wasn't what he was
sex.
charged with though. He didn't have a charge for abuse.
He should have. They had that on camera when he beat the woman
Yeah.
in that hallway. They had
Yeah.
that on camera. So I don't know why they didn't bring that up.
They wanted to get him
Where he,
on bigger charges.
where he kicked her and dragged her by the head, her.
Mm.
He come out in a towel wrapped around here. He was like he was in a shower.
Mm. Mm. I think it'll probably be over tomorrow. I don't think it's gonna take them all day to deliberate one final charge. And Ezell, you said it's the racketeering one?
Mm-hmm. They come
Let
back
me
this
see. I
early. That's
sent
not
y'all
good.
huh?
Dang, if they come back
Well,
this
if it
early.
come
That's
back
not
this
good.
if it come back early after today, that's a clear indicator that the whoever, whether it was one or two, maybe three jurors that was going the opposite way, they flipped. They got them to flip. That's the only way it's gonna come back that quick. But the thing is, it ain't really said and done, because as long as they keep talking and they talk tomorrow on some of those other counts that they say they got a verdict in or whatever, they can still change their thinking and say, oh wait, I changed my mind. So
Guilty.
Mm.
Clarity on exactly what that means for the count one racketeering conspiracy, the charge that jurors said they were unable to reach a unanimous consensus. At this point, though, it seems like the defense has made an argument, a successful argument to the judge that jurors shouldn't be pushed any the jurors shouldn't be made to feel rushed about the stalemate, if you will, in their deliberations on count one of racketeering conspiracy. I'm going to send it back over to you.
All right,
Dana?
yes, Greg.
Can I say something?
Of course.
I am riveted by this. I'm just wondering, if this is hard for the lawyers to follow,
Yep.
how can we expect viewers to follow this? I don't know what's going on, but let me summarize it for the people at home. They could do this, or maybe they could do that. But is there a chance they might do this? Or no, they could do this. We might hear about it soon, but we aren't sure. I get it. This has sex. It has celebrity. It has baby oil. And most important for our viewers, it has hip hop. This is what our viewers crave, a big scandal involving hip hop.
Yep.
Back to you, Dana.
100%. Trey Gowdy, can you comment on whether the audience cares about hip hop? Or, no, actually, about this decision by the defense to ask for the jury to not feel pressured this afternoon?
Of course. It means that they're on the losing side of the split. And if you feel pressure, imagine if you're the two holdouts and it's 10-2. Of course you want there to be enough time. You want to give the two time to convince the 10. You don't want to rush. Time is actually a victory for...
Uh-oh. 2-10.
That's why I said it's probably because they were saying that the holdout, they said jurors. So one of the guys, I think it was Harvey from TNZ, pointed out it's at least a couple because it was plural. So either the two is like not guilty or guilty, vice versa. But they're gonna have to, the 10 is gonna have to get the 2 to flip.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's the 2 he paid, y'all.
You said the 2 that he paid.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think well, at least I was thinking that Jane was Gina. I don't think Jane is Gina because the girl Gina got interviewed coming out of a store, and they was asking her questions about the Diddy trial and stuff, and it was like, if he get off, will you be afraid of him? And she was like, no, he's not no monster. He never did anything to me. So that's why they probably never put Gina on the stand.
Mm.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure he paid her too.
any defense attorney. Some defense attorneys judge success based on how long they kept the jury out, even if they get a guilty verdict. So every defense attorney wants more time. I wish I were in the courtroom because you can tell, Dana, from the body language who the two are. You can see who's sitting beside one another. You can see a lot of times when you get additional instructions or they have jury questions, you'll see the jurors literally look at the holdout and start nodding their heads. So being in the courtroom, you would be able to tell what the split was just by looking at the body language from the jury.
All right, we brought Paul Morrow in. He was over at Fox Nation doing live coverage there, but then we got you here on the 5. Can you give us your take on what you think's happening?
Well, let's recognize something here. We're up against July 4th, and jurors are human beings. And this came late in the day when a lot of us thought it was probably put to bed for the day. So, look, jurors, it's been my experience, take their obligations quite seriously, all right? I think that I don't think I've ever been involved when I felt like the jury was being casual. But jurors are human beings, and the idea here that, from what I hear, the RICO charge here is going to be the outlier. I think that there is an implication that the Southern District overreached. The RICO charge is a heavy, heavy anvil of a legal charge. you're talking about essentially the rest of his life in jail.
So I'm just getting a little bird in my ear telling me that the judge has said, okay, nice try, defense, but that's not going to happen. And he's sending the jury back to deliberate
Guilty.
this afternoon.
2
So,
through
Rosanna, do you want
5.
to comment?
Well, I'm just going to say,
Guilty.
if the jury's
Wow.
going back, the judge thinks they're
Guilty.
What?
Guilty. Counts 2 through 5.
I can't see it. Put it back up. Oh no, or rewind it.
What you mean?
Right, leave it right there so I can see it. Racketeering and conspiracy. Count 2, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. Count 3, transportation, education. I mean, I still don't agree with count 3. I mean, transportation to engage in he didn't have no prostitution ring. Count 4, sex trafficking. I don't agree with that one. Transportation to engage.
Why I just now noticed grandma playing hearts.
I can't. Is she still? I can't see
I'm
her.
here. I'm listening. I'm listening.
Oh,
She playing hearts.
Chance is playing with the dog. Every time she goes lay down, he goes and come messing with her.
tell them to leave him alone.
Huh?
Chance, let him rest. Leave him alone.
Get on it. Stop it.
But I'm glad I ain't on that jury.
Or you rather be the 10 or the 2?
Huh?
You rather be the 10 or the 2?
That don't matter to me. If I honestly felt it wasn't enough evidence to charge him with anything, I guess I'd be the 2. That's probably holds down.
So if he say, hey, look, we're gonna give you $5 million if you can flip the jury.
Diddy?
Yeah. You're one of the 2. You gonna hold out for that
I'm one of
5
the
million?
2, and you're saying he want me to flip the other 10.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or
look,
hold out for a mistrial.
I'll give y'all some of this cut. No, I would just keep arguing my point. I mean, I didn't
Now
done it
you do
before.
what you said you're gonna do.
Huh?
You gonna do what you say you're gonna do. Give a
No,
cut.
I would not, because then my ass tail will be in jail. I wouldn't be able to do that. Somebody will write a note and slip it to the bailiff and go tell the judge, and then I would get put off the jury, and I wouldn't even be getting no $5 million. Then I'd be in jail.
Yeah.
But no, I would just argue my point. I didn't not a case like this, but like I told y'all the other day, I was on a murder trial, and I was one of the 2. And then the guy that was with me saying not guilty, I remember Ezel, he turned to me and he said, Lucy, I am so sorry, but I can't do it no more. And then so he flipped and said not guilty. I mean guilty. And then I was the lone one. So I done it before.
I ain't never say on jury.
But that's what people need to tend to. I mean, it ain't no coercing and trying to bully somebody into flipping and stuff. If you honestly feel the person is not guilty, I'm like, I don't care what you throw at me. You can sit up there and tell me all the scenarios in the world, but I'm not going to play with somebody's life like that if I honestly don't feel that they are not guilty. I'm not going to convict somebody just because you telling me your version and you ain't no more experienced, knowledgeable than I am. We all sitting in a jury room with no legal experience, and we're trying to decipher all of these legal terms and read all of this stuff, and everybody got their own terminology and view on it. Yeah, but I think the 2 is probably gonna stick to what they and it's probably that jury. One of them is probably that jury 25.
So his best bet is a mistrial.
Probably. Can they do a mistrial, or is it just gonna be a straight not guilty? If they can't come to an unanimous vote, not a vote, but verdict. Because like that one I was on, it had to be unanimous. And if it wasn't unanimous, we didn't have no other choice but to say not guilty. So
See, it's not coming.
all the other, at first it was 10-2, and then it was 10-1. I was the one. And then 11-1, then the other 11 had to flip to not guilty. Because it had to be unanimous. And I just flat out told them, I'm not. But I'm going to tell you, one of the reasons why I didn't was because probably after we got in that room, it was an older guy, not of our complexion, was like, oh, he guilty. I knew it from day one. He looked guilty. So we were like, you're going to convict somebody and you haven't even listened to the whole case and you just verbally told us that. So it didn't care what was presented in court. He already felt that he was guilty and was going to convict, say guilty. And then this one lady, she was like, well, Lucy, can you just flip your vote? Because I'm ready to go home. So I was like, if this was and he was young. I said, if this was your son, would you want somebody to send your son to prison and convict him all for the sole purpose because you're ready to go home? So I was like, well, we're going to be here forever. Yeah. And they really never like came at me to say, this is why. It was, we ready to go home. We ready to go eat. We got our family. I got to hear him get back to work. It wasn't no explanation as far as laying anything out to me to change, my vote. So, but nope, I don't know. They may still hold out. They may hold out.
This afternoon. So, Rosanna, do you want to comment?
Well, I'm just going to say, if the jury's going back, the judge thinks they're close to reaching a verdict, and he's going to push it a little longer. The defense, I could understand. They want them to go home, sleep on this a little bit. Even they're not sequestered. Maybe they'll read a newspaper or two. Maybe they won't. They're not supposed to. But they'll have some time to think about it and maybe come to a decision that the defense is hoping for.
Okay.
But we've seen this happen before. I mean, partial verdicts are all the time. RICO,
Sure.
very, very hard to prove. Knew it from the very beginning, Paul.
That's right.
Joey, we haven't heard from you yet. Do you want to comment on something, or if you have a question for anybody?
Yeah,
feel
it's
free.
just not my genre of music, so it's hard for me to know what to ask. Paul, does the judge know what the verdict is in 2 through 5 when he tells them to go back and deliberate?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, he knows. He knows.
What did the genre of music have to do with your opinion on the case?
See, that's what I'm saying. They bring, as far as being in the jury, it be so much stuff to where you just be like, okay, just stick to the key points. They'll come up with any and everything.
What's going on here? And
Yeah, that's
realistically,
crazy.
as you're saying, there's a very good chance he thinks we can probably button this thing up today, and so he's keeping them over time because normally by now they'd be going home. So he's thinking, okay, let's get this thing out of the way now. It's 10-2 apparently, and he'd like to have a resolution here. But what we do have to remember is that you talk about a guy's life.
Yeah.
And I can just tell you, having just been on Fox Nation, as you mentioned, and done a lot of work on this, talked to a lot of people, did a lot of interviews. There's a feeling on the street, quote unquote, in the rap industry and even a lot of the entertainment industry, that this RICO charge was a serious overreach. The guy's had this business for a long, long time. Now, I'm going to date myself a little bit. I was working the day he came in with J-Lo, and I came into work. J-Lo was in the cells. I didn't know who she was, right? So it's longer than I'd like to recall.
That was a gun involved in that
That was
one,
the
too.
thing. They came out of Club New York. There was a shooting. They're in the cab, and somebody throws the gun out on 8th Avenue. It was recovered on 8th Avenue. But you're talking decades ago. He's been around now. This guy's been ubiquitous in American entertainment.
And he's a billionaire. I know you think he's just a hip-hop artist, Greg, but he's a billionaire.
I think he's more than that. He is an American hero. We need to devote an hour to this, Paul. I have a question for you. As you know, you're a music aficionado. P. Diddy once remade and remixed the Police classic, I'll Be Missing You. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
For that alone, should he get the death penalty?
That's a predicate for a RICO charge.
At least go away for
Actually,
a long, long time.
I didn't like the original either, so there's your 2 predicate felonies.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
Look, these are very serious charges. It's the rest of the guy's life. And what you're essentially arguing is he took this apparatus that he built into an enormous business enterprise. That's where I was going with that.
I mean, he's got
and he perverted it into
spirits.
something else.
He's got a big business empire there. It's not just music.
And he also has money for appellate attorneys. Let's remember that. And there are going to be appealable issues all embedded throughout this thing. He's going to have one of the attorneys he actually has.
So you mean we get to do this again?
You will get to come back and do it with Greg.
I have a sex trafficking question, Paul. Okay,
I thought you might.
So, okay, let's just say the internet didn't exist. So normally Diddy would be getting his whores from West Hollywood. So that would not be a sex trafficking thing. It has to do with the fact that now that you have the internet, you can cross state lines. Is that what triggered this?
No, he actually, according to the testimony, was bringing people across state lines.
Yes.
You're right, though. You can get.
Thank you.
You can get. So you're a budding lawyer.
Yes.
Although.
Does that answer number 3?
He just in trouble because they was gunning for him. People traffic every day, if you gonna say that, and fly people in. It is consensual. They know what they coming for. Hugh Hefner did. All these people done what they saying, but no normal person is looking at it like trafficking and prostitution. So I still don't. People do that every day. Every day. They done flew out a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a husband, a wife, somebody they met online. That ain't prostitution and that ain't trafficking. Is he nasty? Yes. But that ain't prostitution. And then he's setting up for these women to come. They know they're coming. They're getting on the plane. He probably sending them their tickets with their itinerary. And I mean, they consensual. They got their tail on the plane. He didn't force them to get on the plane. So I don't look at trafficking like that.
Well,
see, I couldn't be on that jury. They'd be mad at me. Yeah, they'd be mad at me. I'd be like, now, if it's a charge to where it's assault and battery, you saying it, why didn't they never charge him with like what's that charge when these men will give these women these date rape drugs and they knock them out, can't remember stuff. Why didn't they charge them with anything like that, illegally giving people drugs? And
I don't know.
yeah, you heard.
Okay, I'm done. Go.
Eddie, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
You did not do that. No, just exit.
Chance, mute your grandma's phone. Okay, thank you.
I don't know who would possibly hire you, but that's you can get jurisdiction through the internet. And,
yeah, that's what it is. The internet
happen.
has changed the world. Some might say for the worse.
That's a big statement.
Thank you, Al Gore.
It's a good thing you were here.
The inventor of the internet. Paul, thank you so much. We appreciate you coming.
Great job, Paul.
And thanks, Fox Nation, for letting us have him.
Can I have my cuffs back?
All right, well,
Joey, over to you.
We know that the Diddy jury is done for the day, or at least that's what we're being told. We'll continue monitoring for updates and let you know if something else happens. As far as it goes right now, they've got a partial verdict and the judge wants a whole verdict.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.
Okay, we have with us Elizabeth Milner, who is inside the courthouse. Queen Elizabeth.
Well, I mean, it's I don't think it's looking too good. You hear me?
Yeah, but I was gonna say if he is found guilty on some of this stuff, the way some of these men are living their lives and doing all this stuff, flying people out, and they need to stop.
They set the standard with Diddy.
Huh?
They set the standard.
I know. And then I'm like, look at all the high profile athletes, other celebrities that throw these parties, have these women flew in, like from all these strip clubs that's supposed to be well known, these big enterprise. I ain't talking about this no hole in the wall strip club, but these big organized clubs, strip clubs, and they saying, "Oh, we want your best girls flown out. We're gonna fly them out," and all of that. I mean, that's crazy. And
What
I'm
if?
sure they give her, huh?
No, I was gonna say, what if he get found guilty and then Trump pardons him?
Oh, I
Racketeering.
he ain't say no. Hear me?
You keep cutting in and out.
I know. I don't know why.
Mm, mm, mm.
Elizabeth is with us. Elizabeth, good to see you. Thank you so much for coming out. I'm just going to ask you straight up. We got this question that came out from Elizabeth. This is from Enlin DK. What was the overall vibe in the room? And also, this is from Doug K788. How did the jury look when they came into the room? How did they look at Diddy? So what was the vibe? How did everyone look?
Yeah, as far as the tone and the atmosphere inside that courtroom, Jesse, it was so quiet. I would say you could hear a pin drop, but really all you could hear were the sounds of the court sketch artist really just kind of drawing her painting. Because I remember coming in, and normally I'd come in around like 4:15-ish because I was thinking, okay, it's the end of the day. Their jury's probably going to want to go home around 5. But then there was this tone, this feeling inside. The defense was all huddled together. You saw Anna Maria Esteval's arm kind of around Tenny, Sean Combs. Always hesitant to say that he looks defeated or he looks worried or he looks nervous. But this time was different, Jesse. I think once that jury note came down, once he saw that actual note about, because he got the clues before we got the clues as far as they reached a verdict on count 2, 3, 4, and 5. I think there was kind of a moment of nervousness. I felt like you could feel the weight on his shoulder. And then at first I was thinking, oh my God, if they're about to read a verdict, where is his entire family? And then I saw his family members, some that we haven't seen this morning inside the courtroom, start to kind of trickle in. That included all of his sons. That included his daughters too. And that included also Dana Tran. It included his mother Janice. It included his sister Keisha. It included his brother-in-law too. So it was a pretty packed courtroom. I was thinking at a point that they would just read the verdict. I didn't know what was going to be going on. Obviously, everyone, they did not read the verdict. None of that had happened. But really, you could feel just the tense atmosphere to the point a lot of us in the press obviously are going to be looking at Sean Combs, looking at his movement, looking at his demeanor. But because the defense huddled so close around him, likely to kind of prevent us from seeing what his demeanor looked like and for us to write it down, those types of things, it really was a tight circle. So it really was kind of a tense atmosphere. And obviously, when the judge got back on the bench.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
well.
Well, be on the Diddy watch tomorrow.
Yeah. Dang. It's either gonna be a happy holiday for him or it's not.
That just goes to show you and tell people, don't care how much money you got, you still are not above the law. Whether it is if it's right and he's rightfully charged or whatever, you still are you still can put yourself in a position to where you can be an ordinary person facing prison time. Money can't buy you everything. You cannot.
So make sure y'all like, comment, share, and subscribe. We will see y'all tomorrow with an update on
Yeah.
family.
Endless connections.
All right, we'll see y'all tomorrow.
All right. Bye.
All right, bye.